On a warm evening in July 2011, Laura Aerson set off in her car, heading toward Raleigh, North Carolina. She was about to pick up her children from her ex-husband, Grant Hayes. It was meant to be a quick visit, just like many before it. But this time, Laura never returned. At first, her friends weren't overly concerned. After all, life has a way of pulling us in unexpected directions. Maybe she got delayed. Maybe her phone died. But as the days passed with no word from her, a sinking feeling took over. Something was wrong. Behind the scenes, a dark and sinister reality was unfolding. The police would later discover an apartment eerily clean, a scent of bleach hanging in the air, missing items, and a strange letter. Grant and his new wife, Amanda, were on the move. The question became clear. What really happened to Laura that fateful night? This story isn't just about a mother's disappearance. It's about love, betrayal, and a chilling series of events that no one could have foreseen. The early life of Laura Aerson. Laura was born on April 30, 1984, to Roger and Brenda Aerson. From a young age, she radiated warmth, her spirit as bright and lively as a summer's day. Raised in the Grace Fellowship Church, Laura quickly became known for her sweet nature and kind heart. But her world shifted in 1996 when her parents' divorce turned her world upside down. At only 12 years old, Laura faced emotional scars that would affect her throughout her life. She and her mother moved to Biowa, leaving behind the remnants of a fractured family. It was clear, Laura sought stability. She found it in her love for art and design, eventually attending Kirkwood Community College to pursue graphic design. Creativity was her language, and the world of color, composition, and visual storytelling felt like home. After relocating to Kingston, North Carolina, Laura found new friends and began building a life she could call her own. A place where, for the first time, she truly belonged. The meeting of two worlds. Laura and Grant Hayes. In March 2007, Laura met Grant Hayes at a local restaurant. They shared more than a mere dinner. They shared a birthday, April 30th. This connection sparked an instant bond, a serendipitous meeting that felt like destiny. Grant, born in 1979, was a talented musician with a strong religious upbringing. A local performer, he had an undeniable charm and a magnetic personality. But behind the facade of his rising music career, a darker side emerged. Grant had already been through a tumultuous marriage to Emily Lovers, and its end left him with emotional scars. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, Grant struggled with self-medication, turning to alcohol and harder substances. His mental state deteriorated, giving way to paranoia, narcissism, and erratic behavior. Yet despite these troubling signs, Laura, desperate for love and stability, fell for him. She married Grant in a whirlwind romance, not knowing the extent of the darkness she was walking into. The unraveling of the relationship. Grant's behavior quickly became toxic. Controlling, emotionally and physically abusive, and unfaithful, he isolated Laura from her friends and family, dictating nearly every aspect of her life. Despite these red flags, Laura believed she could fix their relationship, especially after the birth of their son, Grant Jr. But Grant's neglect and self-destructive behaviors only worsened. He left Laura and their child behind to pursue a job in the Virgin Islands, where he quickly began a relationship with another woman, Amanda Perry Tucker. Amanda, a single mother with significant financial resources, was a beacon of opportunity for Grant. His relationship with Amanda quickly shifted from romantic to transactional. For Grant, being with Amanda was about more than love. It was about leverage. But Laura's heartbreak didn't end with his infidelity. Despite it all, she gave Grant yet another chance when she discovered she was pregnant again. Her decision to move to the Virgin Islands with her son was meant to repair their fractured relationship. But Grant didn't want reconciliation. Instead, he saw Laura's presence as a threat to his double life. the descent into chaos. The arrival of their second son brought new challenges. Health issues required the family to return to North Carolina, a move that angered Grant. While Amanda remained in New York, Grant's behavior became increasingly erratic. A shocking turn of events came when Grant took Grant Jr. for a modeling shoot, but instead of returning him, he disappeared with the child. When Laura confronted Grant, she discovered the truth. He had secretly married Amanda and had taken Grant Jr. with him. To make matters worse, Laura learned that her marriage to Grant had never been legally binding. A legal battle ensued, with the courts awarding Grant emergency custody. Despite presenting compelling evidence of Grant's unstable mental health and abusive behavior, Laura found herself struggling to regain custody of her children. Then, the psychological evaluations came in. Grant failed the evaluation badly, painting a clearer picture of his volatile nature. The court ruled for a rotating custody schedule, but the damage to Laura's peace of mind was already done. The final act: Laura's disappearance. On July 13, 2011, Laura drove to Grant's apartment to pick up her children. She sent a text to Grant, letting him know she was on her way. That was the last time anyone heard from her. Days passed with no word. On July 18th, Laura was officially reported missing. Police acted swiftly, beginning their investigation with a search of Laura's apartment. Everything seemed normal until they reached Grant and Amanda's apartment. What they discovered sent chills down their spines. The apartment was scrubbed spotless, the scent of bleach lingering in the air. Items were missing, and the floor bore signs of harsh chemical cleaning. But the most chilling find was a handwritten song titled "Manaler," describing the strangulation of a woman. In the midst of the search, police discovered a forged custody letter, allegedly signed by Laura, agreeing to give up custody of her children for $25,000, a sum that meant nothing to her, as her children were everything. The trail to Texas, a gruesome discovery. As investigators traced the movements of Grant and Amanda, they uncovered more disturbing evidence. Security footage showed Amanda shopping for supplies, including bleach, goggles, and trash bags. Grant was seen purchasing tools for what appeared to be a much darker purpose. A visit to Texas led authorities to a remote canal, where Grant and Amanda had scouted for a body dump site. After combing through the murky waters, they discovered Laura's remains, mutilated beyond recognition. It was clear that she had been murdered, either strangled or struck with a fatal blow. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place. The bleach-soaked apartment, the disturbing purchases, the forged documents, and the remains in Oyster Creek. Laura's death had been no accident. It was cold-blooded and calculated. The arrest and aftermath. On July 25, 2011, Grant Hayes and Amanda Perry Tucker were arrested. Both faced charges for Laura's murder. In court, they each tried to shift the blame, but the evidence was damning. Grant was sentenced to life in prison, while Amanda received 13 to 16 years. But her sentence didn't end there. She was charged separately with tampering with evidence and received an additional 20-year term. Though they tried to deny their actions, the truth was undeniable. Laura had been a victim of manipulation, abuse, and cruelty. Her death was the result of a calculated plot to remove her from the equation, all for the sake of Grant's selfish desires. A final reflection on Laura's legacy. Laura Aerson was more than a victim. She was a loving mother, a devoted friend, and a woman who deserved a future she never got the chance to live. Her story serves as a heartbreaking reminder of the dangers of toxic relationships and the importance of knowing your worth. Though her life was cut short, Laura's legacy lives on in her children, who are now in the care of her ex-husband's parents, far removed from the chaos Grant created. As we reflect on Laura's life and tragic end, let her story serve as a powerful message. It's never too late to choose yourself, to set boundaries, and to walk away from those who mean you harm. Thank you for joining us on this profound journey through the tragic story of Laura Aerson. Stay tuned for more gripping true crime stories on our channel. This case isn't over. There's more chilling truth waiting for you. In our next video, we dive into an even darker story. She locked her son in a prison cell. 10 years later, he killed her and blamed his brother. Trust us, you don't want to miss it. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next jaw-dropping twist.